going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Hoopers Lounge podcast featuring myself and Max. In this episode, we're going to talk about the in-season tournament a lot. The inaugural in-season tournament began on Friday. We had a lot of exciting games then, which is a great opening look for the tournament. We're just going to talk about the regular season as a whole, 2-3 weeks in, how our standout teams, our surprising disappointments, and we're going to talk about a big trade that occurred a couple days ago and give our takes on that. But to open it off and start with the in-season tournament, we had 6 games on Friday, November 3rd. Excuse me, 7 games on Friday, November 3rd. Each of those games was within 10 points, except for the Mavericks-Nuggets game. But even then, we still saw a superstar duel between Luka and Jokic. So, Max, what are your opening takes on the NBA in-season tournament through one day of play?
Well, my first take is that the new courts are hit or miss. Some of them looked really cool and combined with the jerseys really well, but some of them made me want to rip my eyeballs out because I had a headache watching the game. That was my first takeaway, but the other takeaway I have is that all these teams that played Friday are taking it somewhat seriously. They're competing. They're acting like it means something more. As a Warriors fan, I follow Steph Curry on Instagram, and after they won against the Thunder Friday night, he posted, and the caption was, "On one step closer to Vegas." So that just tells you that the players know the end goal for the in-season tournament. They know that this thing means something, and you could tell by, the performances of these teams that they took it seriously and they want to win the in-season tournament, which I think is a huge boost for the NBA and its fans.
I agree. The in-season tournament was going to be dependent on how serious rosters took it between coaching staff and players. And as of right now, it looks like every part of the NBA is taking it very seriously, which is a great look. We're seeing starters play 36, 38, 40 minutes a game in the regular season, which we rarely see unless it's a must-win game for them. Just looking through the box scores, I'm seeing all the superstars were playing 38, 39, 40 minutes, which, like we said, great look. The superstars are battling it out, leading their teams to, and yeah, every team that we've seen is trying to take it seriously. The games have been close, competitive, and enjoyable for fans, and I'm thrilled to see the next games up because it's very, very entertaining basketball so far.
Yeah, you can tell that it's like a step up from regular season basketball. Coaches are taking it more seriously. Players are taking it more seriously. It's not as intense as playoff basketball, but I don't think you should expect it to be. It's just going to be really competitive, high, a lot of fun in the regular season, and I really like that. I think it's good for the NBA. I always thought that they should, if they're going to add an in-season tournament, they should just shorten the regular season. But making these games mean double, makes players want to try harder and, not miss these games. So I think it's a great start for the in-season tournament. And like you said, I can't wait to watch more because it's only going to get better, in my opinion.
Looking at the box scores, both of our favorite teams played on Friday in their inaugural day of the in-season tournament, and both of us got a win. Warriors got a potentially controversial win over the Thunder. Some fans are displeased with the final ruling Steph's game-winning layup, while the Bucks took down the Knicks after 2 clutch Damian Lillard threes. We can include those 2 teams if you want, but what was the most impressive individual and team performance to you in the opening day of the in-season tournament?
Well, I'm going to go with a team that hasn't really gotten much love recently, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. They've been playing really good as a team to start the year, moving the ball, not playing selfishly, playing as a unit. And on Friday in Chicago, they got a big 2-point win to start their in-season tournament run. And just looking at the box score, they had 5 players reach double figures, with Royce O'Neal scoring 9 points, Ben Simmons scoring 8 points, and is that Dennis Smith Jr.? Yes, Dennis Smith Jr. scoring 7 points. So
I haven't heard in a while.
The team had a very well-rounded performance. They play as a unit. I love the way Brooklyn plays. They just got a big win the other night against Miami as well on the road, and they were a team that I didn't expect, to win these close games. They're going to beat the inferior opponents like they should because they have, more talent. But these close games, I didn't think they'd have the star power to close it out at the end, but they've proven so far this year that they can, and it was a big win for them Friday night.
Yeah, even though the Nuggets Mavericks game was the furthest in terms of score disparity, I thought it was one of the most entertaining games. We saw two superstars in Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic just go blow for blow in what felt like a heavyweight battle. Every time Jokic got a bucket, Luka would counter it. And both of the players had incredible box scores in the Nuggets' 11-point win. Jokic finished with 33 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists on 14 of 16 shooting from the field, while Doncic having to carry nearly the entire offensive load with Kyrie Irving still trying to find his shot to open the season. Doncic finished with 34, 10, and 8, making 6 of 11 of firm three-point range. It was just a battle between the two. And yes, Denver has a much better team. That's what ended up getting them to win. They got great contributions from Michael Porter Jr., who actually looked really solid on defense that game, guarding Doncic. Jamal Murray had 13 assists, and that those secondary and tertiary stars are the reason that Denver was able to get the win. But Luka is making an early claim for MVP this year. He was my preseason pick, and as of right now, he is my favorite. That was Dallas's first loss of the season, despite Irving's struggles. And I think Luka is good enough to single-handedly get this Dallas squad back into the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's what I've learned from the first couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, I predicted a huge jump from Dallas in the regular season, like we've talked about in previous episodes. And my MVP pick, Jason Tatum's not looking too bad either right now with the undefeated Celtics cruising through the opening portion of their schedule. And yeah, I mean, the Warriors Thunder game, I'll talk about that for a little bit, was very entertaining as well. Very all-star like. The final score was 141 to 139. That's an absurdly high score for the NBA. The leading scorer was Steph Curry, who put together 38 and 7. He was fantastic. And Lou Gent's Dort, shocking performance from him, dropping 29 points and 5 rebounds to help the Thunder stay in that game without Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder are a fun and exciting team. They just need a couple more weeks, maybe a month to gel with Chet, but they are a fun, exciting team. They competed with the defending champs blow for blow without their best player. And I'm excited for them moving forward because they are going to be a team you do not want to play come playoff time.
I was very high on the Thunder all offseason, and I've only had my hopes reaffirmed by their start to the season. Their only two losses were their one loss to the Warriors was tightly contested, and their other one was an abnormal Shea shooting night that he shot 2 of 16 from the field. I don't think he'll have maybe 1 or 2 of those for the rest of the season. So as long as Shea isn't shooting less than 10% from the field, I like the Thunder's odds in a lot of the games and against a lot of the teams they play. And they are only going to get better the more their young core learns and grows together. Personally, my favorite game was the Pacers Cavaliers game. We saw Tyrese Halliburton hit a clutch step back mid range jumper, 16 seconds left to give the Pacers a 2-point lead. And then on the ensuing play, we saw Miles Turner come up with a clutch block against Donovan Mitchell to essentially seal the win. A couple more free throws later made the final score 121 to 116. And Donovan Mitchell dropped 38 points, 9 assists in a losing effort for the Cavaliers. Just another example of a superstar who took this in-season tournament seriously, was going all out for the win. Came up a little bit short, but we saw playoff Mitchell in November. That's an awesome sight.
Yeah, I agree. He's been having to carry the Cavs early this season with the injuries they've been having. For people that don't know, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, and even Karis LeVert have all missed time in the first handful of games for Cleveland. So it's been the Donovan Mitchell show, and he has showed out. He is proving that he's still a number one guy. Cleveland has been dependent on him. Their record looks like crap right now. But once they get healthy, they will be fine. Donovan Mitchell's playing great basketball right now. And right now, actually, they are beating the Warriors by 12. So that game's at halftime right now. Hopefully the Warriors can turn it around, but Cleveland off to a good start, especially Donovan Mitchell, who has 17 points. And Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen are back tonight, so that's probably why they're winning. But, yeah, the in-season tournament's off to a great start, in my opinion. And I want to go back to the courts. I mentioned that kind of as a joke. But some of the courts actually give me a headache when I watch the games.
They're atrocious. You expect a court to just be, like plain wood for an NBA court. And a lot of the teams are using their primary colors as the color of the court. Which, yeah, it does look very good with some jerseys. But like that Chicago Bulls court that was just bright red.
No.
Atrocious. The Warriors court that was bright blue. Not that. I hated that one too.
That actually wasn't the Warriors because they were
Uh
on the road. That was the Thunder's court, but
oh, it was Thunder score. Okay,
yeah.
my bad. My bad. I'm thinking is the Warriors court yellow?
I would assume, yeah, which is
Okay, that
probably
might be
even
even
worse
worse than
than
blue.
blue. Yeah. But Chicago's, in my opinion, was by far the worst.
Oh,
That bright
that
red.
red was way too bright. It was impossible to just
Yeah.
watch and keep track of everything. It
The
was
one
so
thing
overwhelming.
the one thing I do like about the courts is the championship in-season tournament trophy in the middle by the logo. I think
Hmm.
that looks sick, and I think they should add that not only for the remainder of the in-season tournament, but for the NBA playoffs. We should put the finals trophy in the middle of the court.
Yeah,
That
that's a change they got rid of in like 2016, 2017, and I wish they would bring it back. It just
they
gives those
need to do
playoff
that.
games that much more of an important
I
feel.
agree. I agree.
That stripe that each team has in the middle of the court too, going from half court up until the underside of the net on both sides. The NBA said it symbolizes the road to Vegas, which I thought was pretty cool. And I honestly like that different colored lane in the courts. I like that. I wish they would just make the courts, just normal hardwood with maybe a different colored stripe.
Like,
I think that would
yeah,
look a lot cooler
the
than
stripe
just
should be
overwhelmingly colored.
the stripe should be the primary color of the team that's playing at home, and then you should just
Hmm.
have normal hard court wood for the remainder of the
Hmm.
court with the trophy in the middle. We don't need two shades of red on the court with white lines for the 3-point and out of bounds. I mean, as someone who's colorblind too, it's a hassle just to watch the game itself.
Yeah,
Like, it's
it's too
annoying.
much. All right, let's move on. There's been a lot of regular season basketball since our last episode. A lot more storylines, statistics to point out, including Victor Wembanyama showing what he can do for the Spurs
Bingo.
against back-to-back wins against the Phoenix Suns. Wembanyama in one game was hitting clutch buckets, and the next game dropped an absurd stat line of 38 points on 15 to 26 shooting. It was really cool to see what all the hype was about for Wembanyama, because he is still kind of a mystery to American fans who haven't got to see him play overseas as much. To see him just completely annihilate a Suns team led by his idol Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in his return, that was fun to watch. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama's off to almost a perfect start to his rookie campaign. Those two games in Phoenix, the one with a close victory after a somewhat controversial ending because of Kevin Durant's poor ball handling skills, leading to a turnover, costing them the game, and then the second one, which was just an absolute destruction of Phoenix, thanks to Wembanyama's 38-point performance. He is awesome to watch. This guy can hit threes in your face. He can dunk on you. He can block your shot from three. He's one of the most unguardable players in the league. And the last time we talked on this podcast, we talked about his ability to stay out of foul trouble is really going to determine his success this season. And just since his first game against Dallas, I feel like he's really improved just being available and staying on the court. Because when he is on the court, he is arguably the best player on it on a nightly basis.
And already as a rookie, that's incredibly impressive. 3 weeks into the regular season so far, who's your MVP pick? Who's your favorite? I feel like there's a common consensus top 3, so I'm hoping you pick one of those top 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a guy who's won the MVP previously. Jokic is my pick right now. There's nothing I've seen from his game that tells me he's not the MVP. Let's just be realistic here. Denver's a fantastic team, and he is what makes them run. I love what Jokic is doing, and I think if he keeps at this pace, will be the MVP. There are some other guys, like we mentioned earlier, Luka, Tatum. Maybe you could throw in. I really don't know. I don't know who has the best records right now, but it's too early to tell. Other than those
Celtics
three.
are undefeated. Nuggets and Mavericks both have one loss out in the West.
Yeah,
And like I said, I feel like it is those top 3 that is the runaway. It's Luka, Jokic, and Tatum. That's a consensus common top 3. Maybe you can throw Curry in there because he's single-handedly carried the Warriors to any success. But I mean, yeah, it is still too early.
Yeah,
Jokic has put up incredible
I'll give it to Jokic.
numbers so far. 27.4 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists through 7 games. He's also shot the ball incredibly well so far this season. Just being his normal, incredibly efficient self, shooting over 60% from the field. which as the primary offensive force for the Nuggets is insane. But if I had to pick an MVP right now, I'm sticking with my preseason prediction, Luka Doncic. He's been the sole reason for any Maverick success. If you want stats, he'll give you the stats. 34 points a game, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. If you want vintage moments, he's already had a 49-point performance against Brooklyn that he capped with a swinging hook shot, banked in three-pointer, which was insane.
Yeah, disgusting.
And And if you want team success, Dallas is tied for first in the West right now. I think those are the three criteria that a player needs to win MVP, and Doncic right now is, I think, leading in all three of them.
Yeah, between those three, there's not a bad pick. If the season were to end today, I'd probably vote for Jokic, but you could argue for any of the three right now at this point in the season. But it's a long road. Anything can happen. People can trade for players and all that, but it'll be interesting to see how they continue to progress as the season goes, because they're off to very hot starts, and it's just great basketball to watch.
Hey, and I see this transition period. You mentioned trades. Let's talk about the big trade that just happened. After months of speculation, James Harden was finally traded to the team that he's been linked to for so long, the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm pulling up the trade details right now. I know the 76ers got about 4 or 5 players back and a couple picks. Let me get the details up. All right, if the service would load.
I have it pulled up right here, actually, so let me just read it off real quick.
Okay, perfect.
So the Clippers received James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Philip Petrusev. And in return, they gave the Philadelphia 76ers Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, KJ Martin, an unprotected 2028 first-round pick, two second-round picks, a first-round pick from the Thunder, and a first-round pick swap. So yeah, Alex, after hearing the trade details and getting, allowing it to play out for a couple days now, who would you say won and lost this trade?
Well, I think the 76ers are honestly the clear winners here. They got 4 first-round picks for a player that didn't even want to be there, as well as 4 complementary role players. I think the Clippers gave up way too much for another superstar that requires the ball in his hands when they already have 3 of those on the team. Like, how are they going to share the ball between... They already had trouble between Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, and Paul George. Throwing James Harden to the mix, they're just going to create for even more times where these superstars that need the ball in their hands are doing absolutely nothing. I think the Clippers gave up way too much. I think they're going just for more star power and hoping that'll carry them through. And I don't think it's a move. I thought the Kawhi and Paul George duo was good enough to make them one of the best teams in the Western Conference. I thought the two, as long as they were healthy, were the best duo in the NBA. The Clippers obviously didn't feel the same, judging by their recent acquisitions of Westbrook and now Harden. And it looks like they're just trying to overwhelm their opponents with sheer offensive force.
I agree that the Sixers won this trade. However, the Clippers play a very isolated style of basketball, and James Harden fits that perfectly. I think he's going to elevate the team in a sense that the defense has to worry about one more player that can beat you one-on-one. And that's the way the Clippers like to play the ball. So if, let's say, Paul George is having his night, he's going to have the rock, in the crunch time. Kawhi's having his night. It's just another option. If Kawhi and Paul George are having an off night, let's see if James Harden can get it cooking. I think this is just the style of basketball the Clippers play. They're not a very high ball movement team. And for that reason, I don't think the Clippers necessarily lost this trade, but Philadelphia, I think, gained more out of it. But the big winner for me is Tyrese Maxey. This guy's going to get so much more opportunities with Philadelphia now that James Harden doesn't have the ball in his hands. He is going to turn into a superstar, in my opinion, and this season will be the beginning of his trajectory to get there. Starting at point guard, I think, is really going to show his athletic ability, getting to the basket, playing that pick and roll with Embiid that James Harden was so good at last year, is all going to be Tyrese Maxey's time now, and I think he's going to learn a lot from Joel Embiid and Patrick Beverley, who's on his bench. I think he's going to learn a lot this year, and I think he's the main winner of this trade.
Yeah, Maxey has already stepped up and thrived in the second role. If you look at his stats, you would think he's a sleeper MVP candidate. He has balled out this season without Harden taking touches away from him. So I agree with you that Maxey is the big winner. He's going to be the unquestioned second option in the Philadelphia offense, and a crucial role in that, considering Embiid is going to face double and triple teams every single night. So as long as Maxey can keep doing what he's doing, he's going to make an All-Star game this season, and he might even be an All NBA contention because he has looked that good through the first 3 weeks of the season.
I agree.
I just do not see how the Clippers win this trade. Yes, they do play that style of isolation ball, but you already have 3 isolation scorers on your team who all need the ball in their hands. Adding a fourth, that's going to take the ball away from Kawhi, Paul George, and Westbrook more. Those are 3 players that want the ball, that need the ball to have any sort of impact in the game. Kawhi and George are both elite defensively, so they can contribute there. But are they really going to put their full effort in if they're not getting the touches they want on the offensive side of the ball?
Kawhi definitely will. Kawhi's never been a selfish player, in my opinion. He is undoubtedly one of the more unselfish players of this generation. Paul George and Russell Westbrook, they might have more of an issue with it. But, however, it's not like you're giving the ball to a scrub. James Harden, first of all, he needs more shots a game than Russell Westbrook at this point in their careers. And
Agreed.
The way James Harden plays basketball, the way he's played in Philadelphia, he's more of a point guard type where he's been facilitating for his teammates more than we've seen in recent years of his career. So I still think with Ty Lue as the head coach, he's going to focus on getting his main 2 guys the ball. But James Harden allows the court to open up for them because you have to worry about that threat of a former All-Star or former MVP. You know, on any night, he can go for 35 and win you a game. Any night, he can. He's not going to do that every night, but any night, you know that James Harden is capable of doing that.
Yeah, until the playoffs happen, and then he's probably the worst player in the league.
Yeah, well, this season might be a little differently now that I would argue that this might be the best team James Harden has ever been a part of, other than the 2018 Rockets. Maybe this might be the best team.
Okay, but have we not said that for every single team he's joined since leaving the Rockets? When he went to the Nets, the superstar trio of Kyrie and KD is the best team he's ever played with. And he got traded to the 76ers. Playing with that superstar center and Embiid and just running the pick and roll, it's the best team they've ever played with. And we're just going to say it again. At this point, the issue is Harden. It's not the team around him. It's that Harden does not come through in those high-intensity playoff situations. He's a player that disappears. Some players live up to those moments and some drop down. Harden is unfortunately one that drops down.
That's interesting. I think this is Kawhi Leonard is. Let me think about
one of the best playoff performers right now, if not the best. He becomes the best player in the planet every single playoffs.
Yeah, and you can't say that about Joel Embiid. You can't say that about previous teammates that James Harden has had, like Chris Paul. I will say this: Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to say Kawhi Leonard's the best teammate that James Harden's ever played with. I know he's played with Kevin Durant.
I can agree.
But I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard and say that he's the best teammate he's ever had.
I can agree with that. But when we get to the playoffs and Kawhi wants to go Super Saiyan because he becomes the best player in the league, will a player like James Harden be content with giving up those touches?
We just don't know. And that's something we don't know. But I'm looking at it more from the optimistic side. Because I know what James Harden is capable of. I know what Paul George is capable of. I know what Kawhi is capable of. That's where I'm looking at it. You can't assume this is just going to blow up in his face because that's how the last 2 runs have gone. This is a different team. These are different guys, different coach. So you just can't assume that, in my opinion, that it's going to blow up in his face, eventually.
It's a reputation. It's a reputation he's garnered for himself, though. It's not us creating this stigma that James Harden isn't a playoff performer. He has shown time and time again he disappears in the playoffs. He gets pissed off. He blames his teammates, and he asks to get traded. He's done that for the last 4 teams he's been on. And at this point, once is a coincidence. Twice is a bit of a story. 4 times, this is a trend. This is a constant trend that James Harden has followed for the last 5 years of his career. It's unfortunate that a talent as good as him, that this is what his career has come down to. But this is a reputation that he's really going to leave behind. Someone that can't cooperate with his teammates and show up in intense playoff moments. And as a result, will go ringless throughout his career.
I can agree with you on that. That it's become part of a trend now, but I'm still gonna look at it at a positive side because I know of the talent they have on this team. But it is officially championship or bust for the Los Angeles Clippers at this point.
Hmm.
You don't give up that
Considering
much.
Kawhi and Paul George both have player options to hit
Yeah.
free agency as well. Yeah, if they're early playoff exits once again, both that duo might leave LA.
Yeah.
I will not be surprised.
So
I want to see Kawhi back to the Raptors. That would be awesome.
that would be sick. And so that wraps it up for the trade recap. Probably the biggest event that will happen for a while in the NBA, in my opinion. And we can move on to crunch time now, where I think we're going to go back to a blind ranking. We haven't done one of those in a minute. So
Blind ranking, I'm down for that.
Let's do a blind ranking. We haven't done one of those in a minute. So since we only post like once a week now, you want to both do one?
Yeah, we'll both do one. I'm down for that.
All
Let me get my random player generator.
Yeah, me too. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first. I'll set the bar. I'm ready now though. If you still need to generate your players, I'll go second.
Yeah, give me like 30 seconds, and we can
All right.
mention a little bit.
I'm ready. I got my
regular
players. If
season.
you're ready to go.
All right, I have mine as well. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. First up, we have Nikhil Alexander Walker.
Is he on the Pelicans
Yes.
still?
Yes.
What team is he on now? Is he on the Pelicans?
No, I think
He's
he's,
not
on
the-
Utah. I think he's on Utah now. Might be on-
Oh, Utah. The fact that I don't know where he's at just tells me everything I need to know. 9.
All right. 9. Nikhil Alexander Walker. Up next, we have a player I'm very excited to see step on the court this year, Bradley Beal.
Right, he has yet to make his Phoenix Suns debut, but like you said, also very excited to see that. At his prime, he's a 30-point per game scorer. He can get 30 on every given night. We'll have to see how he gels with two other scorers in Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. But Bradley Beal carried a shit Wizards team to the playoffs multiple times. He is a multiple-time All-Star, multiple-time All-NBA. It'll be disrespectful to put him any lower than 3. And that's where I'm going to put him.
Wow, that's pretty high for Bradley Beal, but I don't hate the logic behind it. Up next, we have Warriors legend Quinn Cook.
Quinn Cook. 3 rings with the Warriors. Duke prodigy. 10. I don't even think I think he's in the G League. I can't put him above
He
Alexander
might be on
Walker.
the Lakers now, but yeah, I think he may be switching between the G League and the NBA. Up next is Derek Favors.
Where does he play now?
I
I think we've had him in a blind ranking before. He's still in Utah. Damn.
Yeah.
I think we've had him in a blind ranking before. 8.
Yeah.
I'm taking up on my bottom slots, but I don't think there's
okay.
gonna be much players worse than Derek. Any players worse than Derek Favors in this
Up next, we have Kyle
blind
Kuzma.
ranking. Kuzma. He's on the Wizards now. He's a up and coming scorer. He's got a ring already. I'm gonna put him at 5.
All right. 5 for Kyle Kuzma seems about right, in my opinion. Up next, one of the Bucks' more important players, Bobby Portis.
As a Bucks fan, I would argue that Bobby Portis is better than Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if you'll hear me out on that, but I would legitimately argue that.
At some facets of his game, yeah. I don't know overall if he's better, but yeah, you could argue that he's better at some parts.
Overall, I
basketball.
would say that, but I don't think consensusly that's an agreement, so I'm going to put him at 6.
Yeah, I would put him slightly below Kyle Kuzma, but I'll give it to you that it's closer than people might think. Bobby Portis is a very good NBA player. He's very good.
Mm-hmm. So what I got left? I got 1, 2, 4, 7.
And 7. Yes, that's correct. And up next we have P.J. Washington.
I need a fucking superstar. Put him at 7.
Yeah, okay.
This is not good. I should have put Beal higher.
Oh, no. Up next, Justice Winslow.
No, he's a free agent. I thought we weren't counting that. Free agent.
I can give you another one.
He's
if
not
you
on a
want.
team.
I can give you another one. That's fine. He's worse than
Yeah,
Justice Winslow.
free agent. We don't count those.
Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
Fuck me, he's the worst player in the NBA. Legitimately the worst player in the
He's so
NBA.
bad. He's so bad.
We're putting him at 4.
All right. Up
I need
next.
2 superstars. This is brutal.
Up now. Okay, here we go. We got a superstar, Tyrese Halliburton.
I like that. He's better than Beal. Put him at 2.
2. All right, and number 1, we also have another superstar-ish type player, Tyler Hero, sliding in at number 1.
I should have put Tyrese at 1. Damn it! I thought you were saving some like MVP type player as
No,
the
that
last
was
one.
that list was rough. Not that many superstars. So we have Tyler
Yeah.
Hero at 1, Tyrese Halliburton at 2, Bradley Beal at 3, Thanasis Antetokounmpo at 4, Kyle Kuzma at 5, Bobby Portis at 6,
So
PJ Washington at
I
7,
put Thanasis
Derek
over
Favors
Kyle
at 8,
Kuzma.
Nikhil Alexander Walker at 9, and Warriors legend Quinn Cook rounding out the list at 10. We need to work on that.
I did not set the tone like I wanted to.
No, you did not. I hope my list is not filled with bums like that list, but we shall see. I am ready whenever
All right,
you are.
let's go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, player number 1. We're starting off with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
1.
Not even a question. Yeah, you got a very easy one to start off with.
No.
Giannis at 1.
1.
No, you don't need it. You don't even need to explain it.
I'm
It
not
should be
going to get
known.
a player better than Giannis. He's a top 5 player in the league, undisputedly. So.
Number 2, Marvin Bagley Jr. Or the third, I guess.
Yeah, he's solid. I don't know how much better I'm going to get.
He is not solid.
He's not terrible.
He is terrible.
I'm going to throw him in at 8. He's not that bad, but I'll throw him in at 8.
That is a terrible. That is the definition of terrible. All right would be at 5. Terrible. You're gonna put him at 8 and be like, oh, that's all right.
It is. It's all right for my
All right,
list
number
right
3. We got the GOAT, Alex Caruso.
now. Oh yeah, he's definitely better than Marvin Bagley. That seems like a perfect little
I bet you're gonna putting Giannis at 1 now.
perfect little 6 for Alex Caruso. He does
6.
a little bit of everything for
All right.
the Bulls.
Number 4. We got a repeat action here. We got Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh, bang, bang, bang. I think I'm going to copy you and slide Halliburton in at 2. Don't think I'm going to get much better than Tyrese.
All right. Halliburton at 2. All right, number 5. We got another Warriors legend, Jordan Poole.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, so Jordan Poole's a little bit better than Alex Caruso. Yeah, we'll throw him in at 4. That's a good spot for Jordan Poole. A little 4 action.
4.
I like how this list is shaping out. I have a lot of room to maneuver.
Yeah, you got good spacing. You got 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8 taken.
Yeah.
All right, number 6, Utah Watanabe.
I'm trying to determine if this guy... He plays for Phoenix now, doesn't he? He's the left-handed...
That is correct. Yes.
The
yes.
left-handed Chinese player.
Japanese, close enough.
Japanese, my fault. No disrespect. I'm throwing him at 9.
9.
Yeah, I can't
All right.
put him ahead of Marvin Bagley. I don't know why. I just can't.
So you got 3, 5, 7, and 10 remaining.
Correct.
Next up, LaMelo Ball.
Oh, this is perfect. Throw him right at 5, right in between Jordan Poole and Alex Caruso. LaMelo's having a rough start to the year, which is why I'm putting him below Jordan Poole.
This list is shaping up pretty good. All right, number 8, Colin Sexton.
Yeah, perfect. Throw him at 7, right in between Marvin Bagley and Alex Caruso. And if this player is somewhat better than Jordan Poole but worse than Tyrese Halliburton, we have our first perfect 10 of 10, people. This list is...
Well, you got 2 more. You got 2 more.
Oh, wait, I do have a 10.
You got number 10 left as well. Number 9,
Yeah, Sexton.
Chris
okay.
Middleton.
Oh, yeah, 3. Easy. All right, please be a bum. Please be a bum.
Number 10,
Don't be Jokic.
Are
Don't
you
be
ready?
Jokic. Don't be Jokic.
Kevin Durant.
Oh, All right, well, there goes the perfect 10 of 10.
It was looking so well until it was just stars at the end.
Yeah, that was rough.
And yeah.
That's okay. You always lose out on the last one. It feels like Kevin Durant at 10
Yeah,
is
that's
not
how
a
they
good
get you.
look. But my top
Marvin
9,
Bagley over Kevin Durant? Question mark.
and who did I have at 9?
You
Everybody over Kevin Durant. I had everybody over Kevin Durant. Not just Marvin Bagley. I had Colin Sexton over him. Alex Caruso. Jordan Poole.
I'm trying to remember who he did. Oh yeah, Utah Watanabe.
Yeah, he's better than
So
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's only the third best son.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
You got the list? You got the final results?
No, I do not. I just put check marks by what number I put them at. I didn't write their names. I just put check marks.
I wasn't writing shit. I thought you were right.
No, I wrote yours down.
You had Giannis at 1. You had Tyrese at 2. You had Chris at 3, right? Chris Middleton?
Yeah, Jordan Poole 4, LaMelo 5, Alex Caruso 6, Colin Sexton, Marvin Bagley, Yuta Watanabe, Kevin Durant.
All right. I feel like we both kind of flubbed our blind rankings. Yours was much better than mine. I messed mine up early. But Kevin Durant at 10.
Yeah.
That's one that'll go down in the history books.
Yeah, he's 10th best player in the league, right? That's what I had down. 10th best player in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, with Yuta Watanabe being the 9th best.
Of course. Suns have an all-star duo there. All-star duo.
Yeah, they got 4 All-Stars on their team now.
Uh-huh.
They got the big 3 plus some guy named Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
I don't really know who that is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same page now.
All right. That'll wrap up this episode of the Hoopers Lounge. We hope all of you enjoyed. Playoff tournament is lit. Not the playoff. In-season tournament is lit.
It is.
Next games are on Friday, November 10th. Stay tuned. We will be back next Sunday or Saturday. Who knows at this point? To recap all the good stuff from the upcoming week of NBA and specifically the in-season tournament. If you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you do. Leave a comment on your thoughts of the in-season tournament so far. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.